If you want to make gold fast right at the start of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, try the Farkle cheat method. It gets you from rags to riches really easily. Using this method, we can get 100% win chance when playing Farkle. This beginner strategy is going to cover how to get the best dice set, how to farm all of the dice players in the Trotsky region for their money, and then how to reset them to do it again. If you didn't know, there's 45 weighted dice in the game that all have different probabilities of landing between a 1 and a 6. If we check the game files, you can actually find the percentage chance of each dice landing on a number between 1 and 6, which I've set out in this Excel chart. But one particular dice stands out, the Saint Antiochus Die. This is the only dice in the game that has a 100% chance of landing on a 3 no matter what. And in Farkle, every time you roll 6 dice. But if they all land on a 3 every single time, you're going to be getting 2,400 points with every roll. The funny thing is that if you use up all your dice, you can then roll again and again and again without the other player even taking a turn. This allows you to win every game of Farkle while your opponent's still at 0 points. The great thing is that you can get 6 of the Antiochus Die in the starting town of Troskowitz right here on the map. So after you start the game in Troskowitz, go ahead and find this NPC called Bara. She's in the center of town and you can ask her to help you. Say you need to get some clothes and then she'll give you a lockpick. You can get even more lockpicks from the carpenter in town who's just over here. You go ahead and trade with him and go to the bottom. He has 6 lockpicks that you can also buy. Now the other thing we're going to need is in the southeast of Troskowitz village, literally just here near the river and these trees, you're going to find some beehives. They're these little wooden shack-like structures over here. And if you crouch down, you can go ahead and open them. And they have 10 honey in. Not all of them have honey in though, so you will need to check them all. These are all empty. This one has another 3 honey. And then this final one has another 10 honey. So we have 24 honey in total. And honey is one of the best foods in the game for nutrition. It gives you plus 31 nourishment. So you're never going to get hungry. After you've got the lockpicks, you can come over here to the tavern. And in the tavern, after midday, you will always find the hired hand playing dice at the back here. He's just in this quite a dark corner. And the hired hand is the character who has these special dice we need to get. Now, during the day, there's a lot of NPCs walking around. There's even some guards walking past. So it is quite difficult to actually pickpocket him sometimes. So what I'd recommend doing instead is waiting until 1 a.m. in the morning, because then everyone's going to go to sleep and it's going to be a lot easier for you to get into the pub and just pickpocket him while he's asleep. So now everyone's inside, we can go and open this door. Sometimes it will be a very easy lock, so you can just go ahead and lockpick it. But today it is not locked. So we can just go ahead and open all of these doors and go upstairs. And just on the right here, upstairs in the double bed, we're going to find the hired hand. Now at this point, I recommend going ahead and saving and quitting just to make another save before you try this. And while he's sleeping, as you can see, it's going to be a lot easier for us to pickpocket him. We get a lot more time on the timer. Pretty much just hold it down until it starts to turn a brighter red. See, this is my first time pickpocketing and we have all of this time. Now, usually in the bottom are going to be his most expensive items, like his dice. We're just going to go ahead and take his items if it's not there. And what we need to do is actually just slowly take all of the items out of his person. And then the dice he has in his inventory will become available to steal. Currently, there's sometimes a bug where if you actually hold down the timer, obviously before it goes red, let go. For a split second, you can actually see what's behind the question mark. So I could see that the dice we want is right there. So let's go ahead and steal it. It will only show for a split second, but you kind of get a little peek. So now we've robbed the hired hand in the tavern, but we can actually get a duplicate of the same dice just down the street at the general trader in this building upstairs just here on the map. Also, a shout out to Ryan Hamilton for pointing this out in my shorts guide that I made last week. So this is the tavern. It's still nighttime, obviously. And we're just going to run down here. Do take care though, because if you have a bad reputation, this guy will probably want to search you if he sees you. So do make sure that you don't get caught and searched because you have stolen items. I'll show you how to remove the stolen tag in a moment, but now we're at the general traders. We can go ahead and crouch. Make sure it's around 2 a.m, 1 a.m, because that's when everyone's definitely asleep. And there's also a dog out front of this property, so do take care of it. Now, all the locks here are very easy, and we need to lockpick 2 of them. So we're just going to go ahead and put our cursor where it goes yellow. And I always like to hover around so I can see exactly how big the weak spot of the lock is. And that's the middle. And I'll make a reference point to try and keep it there even when I'm shaking. Just try and keep it in that spot, and then you'll easily unlock the door. Obviously, with harder locks, the shaking is so crazy that sometimes it will be almost impossible to keep it at that point. But with an easy lock, it's very easy. So what I recommend doing is just going ahead and knocking her out. Just make sure you hit the trigger on the knives, and then you won't have an issue because there's no one sleeping nearby her. That's the reason we don't lock the other guy out. You can also take her key as well, and then you can just go ahead and open this door. And when you come back in the future, you can also open the doors without using a lockpick. So when you come into this next room, the hired hand, there's a lady here, and there's an older lady just here. She's not dead. Don't worry. My God, are you okay? Shut off our torch there, and then we're going to start robbing her. She's the other lady who has the same Antiochus Die spawning on her person. So let's go ahead and steal her cheese and useless items so we can get to the good stuff. So I could see a little sneak peek at the bottom there that the dice is just here. There we go. Let's grab that and see if we can escape. Boom. Now we have our 2 dice. Let's go downstairs and just sneak out of here. So as you can see here, we currently have 2 stolen dice, but we need to remove the stolen tags. And we can do that by sleeping for a couple of days, which also resets their inventory. So this is the trader in Troskovitz we just robbed, and now we're standing in the courtyard here. And you want to go directly north to this little shack right at the back here, behind the little field they have. So we broke into this door here. Just come to the left through this big barn building. This is their farm out back. And this is the little shack we're going to be sleeping in. No one will be able to see you here. You're completely safe. Just make sure you turn off your torch and crouch in this corner, and no one will see you. Now, if I check my inventory, you can see we have 2 of these Saint Antiochus dice. But obviously we want a full set of 6 of them. So now what we need to do is reset those NPCs inventories. And it takes 2 days for an NPC's inventory to reset. So now what we need to do is go ahead and wait 24 hours. Now, Henry's going to be very tired and hungry after we do this. You can see we're currently starving now. So we're going to go and eat our honey, and that gives me plus 30 nourishment each time. So after 3 pieces of honey, I'm now full. And then we're going to go straight to sleep for another 12 hours. And you can sleep here without anyone seeing you because it's so dark and no one actually checks on this building. And now after 12 hours, we can just go ahead and wait. And the first thing we notice is that the stolen tags on those dice have disappeared. And all those NPCs' inventories have reset. So if we go back to the tavern, we can pickpocket the hired hand again. And if we go back over here to the trader, we can pickpocket the same old lady for a second dice. After you've done that, you just go back to the house, you sleep for another 2 days to reset their inventories, then go and pickpocket another 2 dice from the tavern and the trader lady, and then you're done. You've got a full set of dice. It's that quick and easy. The only thing to bear in mind is that this bed does not save the game. So you either need a savior schnapps, or you can just go ahead and save and quit. Alternatively, you can unlock a bed you actually own if you go northwest to Tachov. And once you're in Tachov, if you just go and speak to the blacksmith, he will give you a free bedroom as part of the main quest. So now we have a total of 6 Saint Antiochus dice. We can now start the next part of the guide, which is the money making part, the best part, the reason why we went to all this effort. And now we're going to go ahead and run over to the hired hand in the pub. This is the first guy we're going to be beating. We might as well use some of the badges we stole from him as well, and we'll play the highest amount of groschen he has.
As it should be.
And now we need to select our dice. So obviously we have 5 Saint Antiochus dice and the stolen one. So that's 6 in total. And we're going to use a silver warlord badge. Doesn't actually matter which one you use though. Then we're going to confirm. And we're going to start rolling. And look, all freeze. And normally freeze wouldn't actually score you any points. But because we got free freeze, we get 300 points. Then another 3 doubles again, another 3, it doubles again, and then the last 3 doubles again. So in total we get 2,400 points with every roll. And if you look at the bottom here, we can press score and continue. So let's do that, and we get to roll again. And look, we got all 3s again. This dice literally has a 100% chance if you check the game files. It's ridiculous. I don't know why the developers added something like this into the game. It's hilarious, but you know, what's going on? I mean, this is crazy. So we once again roll again. And at this point, you can see we've got beyond our goal of 5,000 points, and we can just press score and pass. We can also use our badge as well to double our score to 14,400. And we instantly win. We get 110 groschen, and we also get his silver badge of head start. Now, if we talk to him again and play some dice, he can only play without a badge now because he doesn't have any badges left. And he can only play beggars because we've actually taken all of his gold. So there's no point in us continuing to play him. Instead, we're going to say we don't want to play. So now we're going to leave Troskowitz and we're going to head northwest up this path just here on the map. And when we get to this kind of fork in the road right here on the way to a town called Tachov. So you can see this is the crossroad, that's Trotsky Castle. And if you turn around and actually retrace your footsteps, you'll find a path that walks off the beaten, well, the road. And right here, you'll find a little archer's spot. There is actually a decent bow you can get early right there. But what we want is actually the nest just on top of the tree here. So crouch down and then start throwing rocks. And we just want to hit that nest. Alternatively, you can pick up the bow and arrow and hit it with an arrow. But in this nest, always, I've tried this on 2 different characters, you'll get the golden doppelganger badge. It's worth 340 points as well. It's one of the best golden badges in the game if you're playing Farkle normally. So we're going to grab that, and then we're going to head back to the road. This was the location we were at. It's going to continue northwards to Tachov. So now we've made it to Tachov Inn, and at this location, you will find the next dice player. There's actually lots of random dice players in the game. Like, this is just a peasant who will play dice if you ask them to, but they only play like really cheap amounts. So it's really a waste of your time unless you just want to play for fun. Instead, we want to look for this lady with a straw hat called Dice Player Genoviva, and we can play some dice. And we're going to say with a badge, and we're going to bet the maximum amount, which is knights, for 110 groschen again.
Let's play.
So once again, I'm going to use all 6 of my Saint Antiochus dice, and I'm going to use the silver warlord badge again. So let's go ahead and do our first roll. You can see it's up to 5,000 points is our goal. And we get all 3s again. So really easy. And we can just continue and pass again.
That's the way.
This guy's getting really excited, even though I'm blatantly cheating. But the thing is that the AI never realizes you're cheating.
That's what I'm talking about.
It'd be cool if they released a feature where if it was really obvious, you get called out on it, which would stop you from using blatant exploits like this. And look, now we have enough points to go over 5,000, so we'll just score and pass.
Enough.
And it's GG. We get 110 groschen and her silver badge of might. But you can see all of these silver badges are actually worth money. Now, if we want to play dice again, she only has like 10 groschen left, so it's not worth our time. We're just going to go ahead and leave. And we're going to go to our next location, which is southwest from Tachov, just over here near Zhelyov. It's called the Zhelyov Wagoners Inn. It's just here on the map. And you can also get a really good bed at this inn if you ask the innkeeper. But once you get to the inn, you'll find another dice player just at the table here called Spots.
What do you want from me?
We're going to play some dice, my friend. I'm going to steal your money. And we're going to say with a badge. And he actually has the golden badge. He's the richest dice player, so we can play him at Kings, which gives us 180 groschen. Dice and our gold doppelganger badge, which I showed you how to get. And you can see that now the goal is actually 8,000 points. It doesn't matter because, I mean, we can literally win every game of Farkle in like 10 seconds without the other enemy even having a go. So let's go ahead and roll again.
I hope you...
GG, brother.
It's a good thing you don't
One more
throw like
roll,
that all
and
the
then we do throw like this all the time, but yet you're not suspicious. And then we can use our badge as well.
Maybe I do the same.
120,000,
Why did I
12,000
even
points.
wager it?
And then he gives us 180 groschen and the gold badge of Head Start. So this is how the ultimate gold farming method actually works in the Trotsky region. It gets even faster once you get to Kuttenberg. But starting out in Trotsky, we need to go to Troskowitz. We beat the dice player there. We get 110 groschen plus his silver badge. And then we go over here northwest to Tachov, beat the dice lady at the inn there. She's going to give us another 110 groschen. And then we go southwest to the Zhelyov Wagoners Inn, beat the golden dice player there, who gives us his golden badge along with 180 groschen. And then we just go back to Troskowitz and we're going to do this whole loop again. But before we can do that, the issue is that you've taken all of the dice players' money, so they all have no money left. So you now need to reset their inventory. Now, normally to do this, you would need to wait 5 days, and then all the silver badge players will have 90 groschen each that you can bet again. But if you wait a week, you'll be able to bet 110 with them. So you can just do the method I showed you at the start of the video. Just go ahead and wait and sleep and eat honey. Or you can just play the game and every now and again just do that loop to get some extra cash and then come back. But that's the limitation with playing dice, is that you can't just infinitely farm unlimited gold from people. But if you want some other secret locations to find to make even more money early on in the game, make sure you check out this video here because I go over a bunch of those locations, including how to get the fastest horse and an in-game exploit that lets you constantly steal 500 groschen from the same NPC every couple of days. You can check that video out there, all linked in the description. I'll see you in the next one.